Let's go!
Just for a little context, I had read a book called The Gay Revolution, and there was a paragraph about a woman named Ernestine Eckstein in it. And after reading that paragraph, I found about a half-hour video on YouTube about her speaking about the civil rights movement and the gay rights movement and how they coincide and how we need each other. I wrote this lady a 29-page letter after watching that video, and I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I feel like I got a few poems out of it. So this one is Miss Arnstein, My City is Sinking. Miss Arnstein, my city is sinking, and I fear it's not as romantic as Venice. Instead of the ocean, my city disappears into the concrete. Tourists won't flock here. They won't don their waterproof gear and wade through flooded restaurants, desperate for last-minute photos of the sinking city. In fact, Miss Arnstein, if the earth opened up and consumed my home, people, I suspect, would celebrate. They'd dance on the gravel remains, thanking whatever God they pray to for removing such an unsightly thing. Miss Arnstein, if my city sinks into the Schuylkill, do you think they'd write about it like Atlantis? If the lost city sin was hubris, I think complacency condemned the iron heart. Miss Arnstein, if my city's downfall is marked by the potholes that have gotten me on a first-name basis with the guys at H&F, do I still have some time to manifest some mysticism or mythology? If the cavern down the street is destined to take out my car suspension, and eventually all of us, at the end of this, I want to meet Poseidon and pet a kraken. Miss Arnstein, what do you know about the Tower of Babel? If they began to do this as one people, nothing they plan will be impossible to them. That's Genesis 11. Now I know this is a stretch, but hear me out. What if it wasn't complacency? What if the sinkhole at the mall was caused by the corner store conversations? Miss Arnstein, I promise we weren't reaching towards the heavens. They always meet me in my tongue. I wanted to bridge the gap and begin to meet them in theirs. Miss Arnstein, if the castle sinks into the hill and sucks us all into a vortex of hell, high school, I bet they'd flood the city like they did Oscarville. Do you think God was too busy burying malls to stop the churches from burning? Just a thought. All I know is, if they turn my city into a lake, I hope the zombie ghosts of Red Knights lurk just beneath the surface, waiting to grab unsuspecting beachgoers to drag them down, the weight of the damned hitting every single castle step on the way. Miss Arnstein, my city might be sinking, but I feel like it'd catch bodies like Lake Lanier every single year. Look, Miss Arnstein, don't judge me. You must think I'm rambling again, but this is very serious business. My city is sinking faster than my heart sank when I realized I never texted that girl back to confirm plans. Yeah, you know the one, the jewelry maker with the pretty braids and soft hands. I told her, my city might be gray, but it reminds me of Storybrooke. The fog sometimes feels like a sleeping spell, but it's also romantic in a way. I want to show her the castle, kiss her on the steps, the way the fog kisses the mountains. Miss Arnstein, what if the city sinks before I send that text? The city that sank before two girls could catch a kiss. Tragic. Could I have sent that text in the time I wrote this? Yeah, sure. Of course. But the girlies have spoken, and they don't want pen pals anymore. And I'm much more suited to love letters than texts. So instead of sending that message, I have to let you know, Miss Arnstein, that the pagoda is crumbling like the walls of Troy. I fear when it comes tumbling down, it will drag the mountains with it, leaving the land bare and unprotected. Tornadoes will ravage through, the pagoda will fall. The storm chasers and photographers will take award-winning photos of the skeleton of my city. Miss Arnstein, has your heart ever felt hollow, deep, void, cavernous, poorly executed, hazardous? Like every time it rains, water seeps into the cracks, weakens the heart above the void. Like eventually, without support, the heart will collapse. The body above will sink. Miss Arnstein, gifting a hollow heart feels a lot like building cities on top of hollow land, destined to fail. Miss Arnstein, my city is failing under the weight of poverty, addiction, a failing school system. Under the piles of trash and dog shit, the bridges are falling, the rent keeps rising, and oh, she texts me. Miss Arnstein, it hit me like Satan with a fire whip. Maybe cities that are built on hollow minds are meant to crumble, and maybe hollow hearts are made to be gifted like trinkets. Miss Arnstein, what if I can't even tell the difference between a sinking city and a thriving one? My city might be crumbling, but it's also overflowing with blackberries, persimmons, apple trees, art. What if my heart isn't hollow but ready? What if my city isn't sinking but thriving?